boys and girls and those who aren't so much of those things. What I've done today is what we call an anti-pro gamer move. Fucking stupid. I can't wait to watch RWBY. Yeah, gotta watch RWBY today. Today's gonna be a RWBY thing. We're gonna watch RWBY. It's gonna be fucking great. We're watching RWBY's gonna happen. Let's go watch RWBY. I can't wait to watch RWBY so we can watch RWBY again later, and I can watch RWBY because it's RWBY and I like RWBY. Fuck yeah, this week's been kind of shit, so I'm really looking to watch RWBY. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be great. Ooh, boy, don't press snooze. Anyway, or in my case, delete the fucking alarm and be like, well, I'll wake up in 20 minutes, because that's how that works. Fun fact, that is not, in fact, how that worked. Anyway, hey, hi, ho, and howdy, everyone. My name is Shannon Shook, and welcome yet again to another episode of RWBY Volume 8. This time it is episode 12, Creation. What a concerning title, considering the show. So because it's actually kind of late, I'm going to make a very concerted effort to not do a 30-minute introduction to this video. So I'm actually not going to focus too much on Risk. I talked a lot about Risk at the end of Risk, so I won't really do that. To some of you, this will be glorious, fantastic news, and some of you will be, like, two of you will be very, very bummed out by, like, who are you and what have you done with Shannon? Very, very, very quickly, before I do get started, though, I did want to talk about one quick thing and give a little bit of an update, because it's kind of important. Again, I said my week was kind of ass. My week has been kind of ass. I talked about it in a little bit of a community post. I only so much, but it was when it immediately had first happened. Only so much has changed, but is definitely worth noting. Here recently, over the past week or so, someone in my house, the place where I live, roughly 10 feet outside my door, was exposed to the good. The oh so very lovely thing that we've been dealing with this past year or so. I did not take that news particularly well, as most people I don't think would. I got very, very, very angry. I am still very, very, very angry. I didn't know exactly who to point that anger at, who's necessarily responsible. I've learned who's more responsible. And it's exactly who I thought it was. Oh, Montana, I hate you and everything about you. Anyway, without going into too much detail, because I will freak the fuck out about it. I still don't know what the deal is. To the best of my knowledge, a test has been officially taken at this point. I hope so. That was what I heard was happening. It should be, because we should really get on that. But to the best of my knowledge, that has happened, but I don't know when we'll hear back from that, because as someone who's taken one of those before, it can take a minute for those to actually go through. We don't have immediate access to them, like, 20 minutes, get that me, give me that shit. We ain't got those ones. But yeah, so, obviously a little concerned, a little worried. Obviously, I've had 3 different people, at least in my family, already have to deal with that who I don't live with. I don't know, it was absolute hell for them. And I do have some concerns about just myself and the people I live with, so it's concerning. It's more concerning the fact that the people who are responsible also did not tell us about it until multiple days later. Until after it already happened. So it was so they didn't give us any. So they put every single person that is us, and also every single person we know and interact with at work, at risk. So thank you to them. You are horrible, terrible at your job, and everything about you is horrendous. I hope to God that this is negative, because if not, you should be fired immediately. You should probably be fired immediately anyway. Yeah, so again, I'm a little upset. It's been a week. But I'm doing okay so far. As far as I know, everyone's kind of doing okay. Again, I'll keep you guys posted if anything goes awry. But just, I wanted to let you know, because obviously that's kind of an important thing. It's kind of fucking big deal. So you'll know when I know. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. It's only 6 minutes. We can do 10. It is pretty late, so I do want to actually get to this soon, so I can have at least a little bit of time to talk about it afterwards. But yeah. Anyway, there's that. Do I have anything to talk about outside? I don't think so. Risk really quickly. James is still a douche, tried to murder Marrow. Winter saved Marrow because she's pretty cool. We like Winter. Marrow talk a lot of shit because Marrow's dope. Elm is a mighty scary looking person. Maybe we can save Elm. Vine is less so, but I think a tolerable human still? I don't know. Harriet is a dumpster fire. Let's see what else. Penny asks Ruby kill her face. That was not very fun. Let's not do that. Hopefully this plan that we have discovered works. Jean save Penny, at least temporary, because he boost her, because she's a real girl, and she fight the Penny robot Pinocchio-ness. Watts is a dick. Anyway, who is with Cinder, meeting up with Neo. They heard the plan at the end of the episode, which is bad. There's a plan at the end of the episode, which is good. Maybe. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. I'm not confident. This thumbnail scares me. Yes. So we're taking Penny to the vault. Now that she's slightly under control-ish, maybe. I don't know. We also have Emerald. She fucks with people's head with illusions. Maybe it's all an elaborate conspiracy. We had a big talk with Ren and Nora. There was booping involved, but not like in a super aggressive, like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in so long, tear my clothes off sort of way. There was some sadness and there was some difficulties, but they've decided that hey, when this is over, when Sonora figures her goddamn shit out, absolutely. So you two need to be careful and stay safe. I know some people take that as like, it's even more, the death flags are even more. Personally, it literally, I went from feeling like Ren could very easily die to, I don't think Ren's going to die at all. I don't think Nora is either. I legitimately don't think they're going to die. I can't wait to be proven wrong in this episode and cry myself to sleep for the rest of eternity. Legitimately, though, that episode, I think, really did iron it out for me that I do not think anything's going to happen to them. I know how crazy that sounds, but I legitimately, I think that saves them more than it does anything else. Perhaps that's just wishful thinking. Jean is a third wheel. Jean's the fucking boy is what he is. We had Ruby and Yang talk. I really like that episode. It's one of my favorite, the episode? I mean, the episode is very, very good. It's one of my favorite scenes in the volume and the show. It's very, very good. I really like that scene. Lindsay and Barb's is the dopeness, and I really like it, and also it makes me sad. And Crow and Robin have escaped and are going to go beat Ironwood's ass. And they definitely ran into Winter and Marrow. They tried to pull a sneaky on us, but there's no way they didn't, unless they did pull a sneaky on us. And actually, they ran into Jacques. Please, God, no. Let's just pretend he doesn't exist, right? At least until Atlas is dead, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, was Jacques on there? Yeah, he was. Damn shame. Same to everyone else, but he did die. That is a damn shame." Okay. So yeah, last but not least, we left off with the plan that at the very least we're fucking with Ironwood because Ruby called him up and was like, "Hey, yeah, she'll do it," and he was like, "Cool." Penny comes to the academy entrance alone. There you go. I probably won't blow up Mantle. I might still blow up Mantle. I don't know. I'm very scared for Mantle. Thank you for my shitty recap. Anyway. yeah, so we're gonna just go ahead and watch this. Again, I'm sorry that it's a little wonky today and it's a little wonky this week. Just because it's late. I really want to make sure I get this through tonight. And again, it's kind of been a concerning time. If I look like I'm shaking, it's not because I'm dying of a horrible disease. Probably. It's because I'm a little chilly. You say, Shan, turn your fan off, and I would say, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, a little chilly. I had a bit of a stomach bug earlier, and that was no fun. I was not liking that. That was part of the reason I was wanting to sleep. It was just like, I just don't want to get up and do anything. I suddenly want to get up and do something. Fucking 5 in the morning. It's okay, though. We got this. We can do this. It's RWBY, Volume 8, Episode 12, Creation. Also, once again, to Neith, you're an evil man, sir. You're an evil man guy person, sir. How could you? It's terrible. Oh, I didn't mean to scare anyone about Episode 11. Huge things that happened in there. Like, yeah, I know it was kind of big, but I didn't mean to scare anybody. Anyway, so I definitely won't do the same thing about Episode 12 and the big scary shit that happens in that. And I'm like, you motherfucker. I love this man. And he's a bad man. It was a great episode, though. I really did like the Renora stuff. It was interesting watching people try and process that, because some people could not process it, apparently. But again, as someone who, I will say the show, but I won't add the context. Because there's characters in Sakura So, which is what used to be my original favorite anime. Which I only don't classify this purely so that I can give other things credit. Before like Franks and stuff showed up. And I ended up falling in love with those. But yeah, there are characters in there of kind of a similar relationship who have kind of similar personalities. The only difference is their dynamic in this specific discussion is reversed. And that's kind of interesting. I don't know. I really liked it. And I was talking about it with Jeff when we watched earlier. But like, oh yeah, no, I can kind of see that. I'm like, fucking right? Right? Like they even are kind of the same people. Anyway, I don't know. It's cool. I like that show. I like that show. I like these characters. I like this show. We're going to go ahead and watch this. It's episode 12, Creation. I'm scared. Hold my hand. Please do. Just take it. That's going to be difficult because I've already taken it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and do this. In 3. I remembered what I'm doing. Can you tell I woke up 10.5 seconds ago? It's not true. I woke up 3 minutes ago because I had to redo all my goddamn shit. Because as soon as I have to take my computer anywhere or do anything like that, unplug anything, then it resets all my equipments, and then I cry myself to sleep every night. Also, I can talk about it when we get started. 3, 2, 1, go. I will talk about it now. A couple of things. One, hopefully my headphones stay alive during this. They've been shit as of late. They might be dying. Dead, gone for good, for realsies. 2, well, God, I love Weiss. Marry me, please. 3, fuck, what was I talking about? Headphones, what were the other things? Shit. They were slightly important. I don't remember what they are anymore. A human mistake. Hopefully my internet's okay. My internet was absolutely horrendous this morning. Yesterday morning. Oh my god, it's so late. Oh, yes. The last episode of RWBY. I don't know what happened. I've never had that happen before. So anyway, the episode, I put it up, it got blocked, because that's what happens, and I'm like, that's fine, that's cool. I talked to RT, like, hey, boys, gals, those who aren't those things, I want to hit you up, you fix my shit, and they're like, hey, got you, son. They don't talk to me, but they're like, cool, boop, it's released, like Ren's love for Nora, and then YouTube was like, nah, son, I just need time to think about myself, and so... I assume it had to have been a YouTube thing, like a shitty YouTube bug, because YouTube is shitty. But The episode reblocked itself and then immediately fixed when I privated and unprivated the video. It was weird. I've never had that happen before. Y'all are dead. Say mighty convenient that worked. Would you settle the fuck down, James? What is this shit? Still holding on to the bomb thing, too. Committing to the fucking bit.
Be ready for anything. We don't know what state Penny is in.
Secure that shit,
if any
yeah.
of those brats had the nerve to come with her, we put them down immediately. The general gave his terms. No more games.
Will someone please fucking kill Harriet?
Just retracing the steps that led us here.
I was really hoping he was gonna say just shut the fuck up.
What is it, sir?
Bro and Robin. They're in the academy hangar.
Trying to stop the payload.
Or just looking for a way out.
Not going to happen. I've been waiting to take my shot at those two. Let's go.
Oh, Robin, please beat her
Someone
whole
needs to
ass.
stay here with the general. I'll stay. We lose the payload, we lose our leverage.
She's right. Contain it. Now.
I still can't get over that this motherfucker did whatever he just did to his guns.
Sir, this
And two,
course of action.
she
hope
definitely...
you're not going to try to talk me out of it.
I don't think there's
No,
talking
sir.
you out of anything,
I
buddy.
don't think that's possible.
Yeah. That's just not an option.
I didn't
He's
think
so
you'd
fucking
actually come
gone.
alone.
Jesus Christ.
I expected at least some resistance from your friends.
I don't want anyone else to die. I must open the vault.
You've done the right thing.
I have.
Feels weird.
I was gonna say, like, that definitely didn't work, but no, that is exactly what she did. Holy fuck. Okay. Damn, that escalated so quickly. Oh, there's just a song happening and everything. Oh, fuck. My fucking boy. Holy shit. That happened so quickly. So much just happened so fucking quickly.
Sorry, guys, but we
Take a
don't wanna
fucking nap,
fight.
James.
We didn't want to drop Atlas either. But we've all had to make some tough calls, huh?
Holy shit. Okay, see, that's how you beat James. You just hit him with
Move to phase
50
two.
people at once.
Guys,
Please be
she
careful.
has to go to the vault. That's actually a risk.
So we gotta get the fucking lead up to what just happened?
We've been so worried about keeping the vault closed that we never considered using what's inside.
The staff of creation.
Gotta be
Maybe we
careful with
use it
that.
to save Penny and get everyone in Atlas and Mantle back to safety.
Maybe.
Well,
If you can at least get the
never guess
people
who I
out,
just heard
fuck
from.
the goddamn cities.
So, you're not arresting me?
No,
My heart.
Ironwood's got to be stopped.
Then why did you hit me?
Because you were about to get killed if I didn't do something.
It's true. Blown your whole entire ass away, sir.
What are you doing?
What I should have done ages ago. Getting in touch with my sister. We're going to need help.
Fucking love you, Winter. Squads.
Speaking of help,
so we've got people trapped in Atlas and Mantle that we can't evacuate unless we use the staff, which is located inside the vault. If
It's
we
okay,
open
I can
the
breathe.
vault,
We've had the crazy shit just happen.
if
Don't
Ironwood
worry,
gets
more
further
crazy shit will
dangerous,
happen,
he
but
blows up Mantle.
There's something else to consider.
we just got confirmed that it worked.
If that creates anything else, the city drops. Atlas has enough natural gravity dust to keep it from plummeting immediately, but well,
But it's
nobody's
gonna go
going to want
down.
to be around when it touches down.
Yeah, even if it doesn't take out like the fucking continent, it's taking out Mantle.
Teleport everyone to safety. Maybe even to another kingdom.
We can't just wave it like a magic wand and make our problems go away. And we haven't even told you about him.
Who?
The spirit and the staff. Like Jin. But, well, he's a character. He can build you anything, but only if you can explain to him how. Like any craftsman, he'll need blueprints. Some sort of reference. It'll help if we have real-world examples to show him.
I've already gone through the city layouts for the SDC evacuation.
There are spirits in all the all the fucking relics.
There's still James and his bomb to consider.
Oh, I've got a plan for that.
So, that takes care of phase 1.
Meanwhile, the real Penny goes to the vault. With help.
I blasted a hole through the bottom of Atlas, and I highly doubt they've had time for repairs. That should take you straight to it. All of that.
I'm still.
That's the easy part.
That was so immediate. Cinder, Watts, and Neo are still around somewhere.
Just hang in there, Penny. Okay?
That's the problem. Is even though we just pulled that off, those three are still around. Oh, I don't like that. But again, also the problem too is once they get the fuck, what the shit? Okay.
Seems someone has come to engage my creative wiles. All I'll say is it better be worth it after my last project. A floating city? How pedestrian.
Hi, Mr. Ambrosius. Sir, listen, it's about
Ambrosius?
a friend. She's dying.
Shit is happening so impossibly
I
fast.
assume that you know it's against the rules for me to bring people back from the dead, so...
That's not what we want. She's not your typical girl.
So she isn't. I'd love to meet whoever did this. Ah, I see.
Is that fucking...
There's something eating away at her. I'm guessing you think you have some...
That's not Matthew Mercer, is it? Am I fucking that up?
I will give you exactly what you asked for, and I don't want any complaining when it's not what you wanted.
We brought her schematics. We want you to make a new version of her, using her exact same robot parts.
That was curiously worded, girl.
An exact copy of her would include the virus. An exact copy of her without the virus would cease to exist the second you make something else. And we kind of want to keep her around longer than that.
You've done your homework.
We want you to create a new version of her, using her existing robotic parts, taking the virus with them.
Okay, but if I take the robot parts out of her, that would leave...
Penny. The girl who's always been there
Hers.
underneath it.
You can't destroy. It's against the rules. But you wouldn't be destroying her. Her soul is who she is.
The mechanical parts are just
Ooh.
extra.
But a soul without a complete body, what would be left?
I don't know. I guess you just have to get creative.
I suppose I could
That's
do a
fucking crazy. I didn't think about any of that.
But if I do that, how much
I'm-
of Penny would be my work and how much would be her? Just coming up to the surface. This is
He's a
all
fucking
very
character, I'll
exciting
give him that.
And very dangerous. I don't know what the results are going to be.
We don't have any other options. We believe in her.
Then ready yourselves to witness my artistry.
I suppose that makes you the blue fairy then. I trust you, Ambrosius. You got this. It's a wild ass name. You wild ass man. So much shit has happened. I'm still shaking.
It's done.
I was freaking the fuck out before this shit immediately started happening.
I guess that's the signal then. Seems like things are moving forward in the vault.
Hopefully Penny is going to be okay.
If Atlas is moving, we need to get word out before people panic.
Meaning hurry.
I know. Okay, this should be, that did, something?
You're live.
Everyone can see you.
Oh. Citizens of Atlas. Mantle. What we have to tell you is very important. Atlas.
You need to fucking go now. Son of a bitch.
What happened?
It's dead. The entire CCT. It just went down.
And so did kingdom-wide communications. How?
The bigger question is, what do we do now?
That boy said Atlas is falling. Is that true?
Yes. We're using the staff to get everyone to safety. Salem can have the rubble. We'll all be long gone.
Are you going to
That
leave
is-
me here?
No. When we're finished, we'll move both of you to safety.
Oh, Winter, thank you.
Oh, don't thank me.
Fuck you,
It
Jacques.
was Weiss's decision.
Fucking prick. It's a real human girl penny bean? The fuck just happened? Oh, that's immensely fucking upsetting. Its next choice should have been to self-terminate. Yeah.
Are you okay?
Do hugs always make you feel this warm inside?
Yes.
Wow.
We should
Oh my god.
sure our theory
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
And start the
Danger.
evacuation.
We gotta get Penny some fucking shoes. as well.
Free to create and... Oh, it's you guys again.
We're not done with you.
Fine.
Let's try the quick version. Can you make a bunch of doorways in Atlas that open at a single spot in Vacuo?
Sure, I'll just need coordinates and specs for each door, an explanation for bending space and time to account for the much greater traffic on one side, and a single point of exit on the other.
Okay, that's about what we expected. So, we need to funnel everybody through a central location first.
You're going to have to tell me more about this.
The little pocket dimension looks cool, by the way.
Where is it?
Didn't even get to fucking mention that crazy shit.
A place like these vaults. Wherever they are, they're not part of Remnant. Only accessible if you know the right way in. Seems like a safe enough place for thousands of refugees.
You kids are either smarter or much more foolish than you realize. I'm going to need a reference.
Oh, we've got one.
Thank fuck the team fucking thought this shit through. That's fucking cool. Fucking hop in and run. Or maybe don't run, you could fall, but goddamn move.
People enter from Atlas and Mantle on one side. And leave on the other side with a one-way ticket to Vacuo.
Well, everything appears to be in order. You were quite thorough. Disappointingly so.
So, it's done.
Yeah. Oh, And one last point of clarification about this central location of yours. Do not fall. Okay, and with that dire warning...
So remember what I just said a second ago? Yeah.
We did it.
What now?
We go to Vacuo. All of us.
See, the problem is Cinder, Watson,
We've thought of everything.
and Neo are there. So remember how we just said don't fall? So it'd be really bad if some crazy fire-throwing bitch flew around in there and started blowing shit up, including us, right? Who was that? Valentine Strokes? Was that his fucking name? Bring it back. Valentine Strokes. I apologize, Valentine. Number one, you have a fantastic name. Number two, you have a fantastic voice. Dude, so much fucking happened. Okay. Jesus goddamn Christ. I don't think I'm gonna talk about this episode. And I don't mean like I'm just never gonna talk about it. I think I have to wait till tomorrow, because, again, it's super fucking late. And so much shit just happened that I really want to make sure that I actually cover it and talk about it. And I'm going to have to watch it another 45 times. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Thank you to everyone for watching right now. I'm going to cut it here. And I will bring it back for a discussion bit here at the end. That was so fucking immediate. So much shit happened so quickly. I'll talk about it later. See you then. What the fuck just happened? Hey guys, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, so this it's been a day. It has a new shirt and everything. Please ignore the fact that I was wearing the same shirt that I was last week in the first half of the video. Don't think about that too much. Anyway. A human train wreck, am I? Yes, so I am officially back after a day's time to come back and discuss with you the goings-on, the happenings, the whodunits, the what-the-hells of episode 12 of Volume 8 of RWBY. So, a couple things before we do get started with this. Again, yeah, so I took a bit of a break. I'm sorry I'm coming back to this. But again, I had to run away for a bit because my timing was super weird because, again, I slept in. And it meant my recording was all fucked up. I mean, the recording seems like it was fine and everything, but you know what, my recording schedule, my time with which to record, shit like that. Yeah, so I apologize for that. I'm in a slightly different place than I was before. I mean, not physically, but mentally. So I watched, to the best of my memory, I watched episode 11 7 times before reactions started coming out. Throughout the course of the week, I watched it 7 times, which is on the lighter side usually throughout the week of watching episodes. When I do, it's just it's not because I didn't dislike the episode or anything like that, but it is just on the lighter side. There's one thing I do want to talk about it because I think it's worth noting with this episode. The reason I bring it up is because you notice I keep looking off to the corner of this because I have a little notepad, which what I wanted to do last time was to keep track of how many rewatches I do because I'm a psychopath and a maniac, and I watch RWBY a bajillion times. But again, I watched it 7 times last week. Episode 11 I did. I have watched episode 12 8 times today. So, which means I won't actually be able to legitimately have a legitimate discussion here because my brain will be pudding. That being said, I've had a great time. I really like this episode. I really, really did. When I first watched it, I think you could tell. Again, I was going into it kind of all over the place because again, I had just immediately woken up and again was on a time crunch and stuff, so I was all over the place. Which is not the state of mind to go into with an episode like 12. Because that was actually a thing too. Is I was going to talk about it at the time, but obviously didn't because, the time wise. But I actually thought the first time around, I really kind of thought the pacing was a little like it was a lot, and I still believe it is a lot because it's a fucking lot happens in this episode really goddamn fast. That being said, I think the pacing cleared up almost immediately after I did a rewatch. If you haven't, well, I mean, you probably have at this point because we're on to reactions now. But like, if you haven't done a couple rewatches of the episode, I definitely think it is worth doing. Because number one, there's a lot of cool little like small moments and shit in there. Like the fucking, like just little touches like, the 2 giveaways for the two giveaways for Penny being Emerald before she actually does to do the swap, which was like obviously Taylor's I have or whatever it is when he's like, hey, you've done the right thing or whatever, and she like perfectly replicates Katie's voice, or not Katie's voice but Katie's like intonation and delivery with Emerald, and I thought it was really, really great and I love it. Taylor's so fucking talented. It's disgusting how talented Taylor is. She's wonderful. Fucking, I'm so glad we got her back, because there's been so many great moments, with Penny, because of her fucking fantastic work. And I've enjoyed the hell out of it so much. But anyway, there was that. And there's also the fact, like, that when she first shows up, she fucking, if you go back and look, Penny historically almost never, there's like maybe 1 or 2 examples in the entire series where she does, but she doesn't use fucking contractions. She doesn't say like, she doesn't say doesn't. She would say does not. She doesn't say don't. She says do not, cannot, will not, would not, shit like that. That's the kind of things that she does. She does it all the fucking time. It's something I've noticed progressively throughout this volume in particular. I didn't really notice it before, but yeah, there's quite a few points in particular where you really notice it, and you're, I don't know, it's kind of fun. I always point it out because I always thought it was kind of funny because it kind of turned Penny into a little bit of a cheese ball, which I've always enjoyed because that's who Penny is. Like, she's kind of a cheese ball, and we love her. But like, for example, like during her fight with Cinder at Amity, instead of going like, you don't know what you're talking about, she goes, you do not know what you are talking about. She always does that. But obviously when she shows up here in this first scene to throw down, she doesn't do that. She says don't. Is it don't? I can't remember. I've watched this 8 times. My brain, it all just flows together. My point is, it's definitely a good episode for rewatches. And I really do think it helped with the pacing too. Because it was a lot for the first go around, but after you got the second or third time, you're like, okay, I know exactly what is happening now. This flows infinitely better. It was actually one of the things, and the reason I talked about episode 11, is I think the pacing with episode 11 was still a little weird for me, even after a couple rewatches. And I still really like that episode. Again, I'm a character guy, so that was all kinds of my sort of shit. But I don't know. I did think it bounced around quite a bit. I mean, it very clearly did. But I think it still fits for what it was. But it was one thing that I didn't absolutely adore from episode 11 that I was worried I felt about episode 12, but didn't after a single rewatch. So, anyway, point is, yes, I really fucking liked this episode. I hope it did come off on the thing, because again, I was very tired and all over the fucking place. But I hope it did come off. I haven't gone back to look, but I'm 90% sure I spent most of that with my fucking doing this. Like, okay, well, okay. I don't know. It's a lot, dude. It was a fucking lot. Okay, so let's actually do kind of a little bit of a run through with some of the big moments. First off, of course, we start off the episode with fucking James, the Aesops and Winter getting ready to meet up with Penny. Harriet's still a horrendous excuse for a human being. Again, I can't express enough how much I enjoy that character. And fucking Daenerys is amazing. Just a wonderful fucking person. God damn it if Harriet isn't the most strangleable fucking human in the show, though. Yeah, so anyway, they're there. And obviously getting ready to meet Penny. Get the thing from Crow and Robin. They go off to head off to do that and start some shit. I really liked. I don't know. I really liked the fight with Ironwood. I know a lot of people are kind of the mind. I suspect there's actually going to be a bit of this too. A bit of me kind of like talking about other people's thoughts on it, because there's some here and there. A lot I will ignore because some are just really dumb. And it's okay to not understand some things. I will not blame anyone for having a little bit of like, wait, how does this work, when you think about like the Penny thing? And then you can think about it a little and you're like, oh wait, no, that does make sense. They loopholed the fuck out of him. Okay. But yeah, so like I don't have any problem with that. But yeah, and I understand why some people, and this is a thing I have noticed. I do think the fights have become progressively shorter in the show. Again, that is something that personally doesn't bother me too much, because again, the fights have never been my main draw. Obviously, there are still some examples of ones that are very much not like that. Like the Cinder Penny fight is pretty fucking expansive. There's a good bit of time devoted to the hound chase. And that kind of I don't know if I necessarily count the whole thing as a fight, but the whole kind of deal with the hound in episode 8 and stuff like that. But obviously you have much shorter fights. Like there's a lot going on, but they end rather quickly. For example, like the Hazel Salem fight, it's not very long, but some shit happens. This fight here with Ironwood, they curb stomp the fuck out of this man very quickly. But it's incredibly satisfying, and I think it's really, really well done. And I think if I had to wager, well, number one, obviously there's a certain level of like, it comes down to the people involved, how many people are involved, what they're doing. Again, in this case, you have 6 different people beating the ever-loving shit out of James, who is unarmed. Like, he wasn't ever going to win that fight, and he definitely wasn't going to be able to hold up that long. It makes a lot of sense. And I think there's arguments to be made for that, kind of for the Salem Hazel thing as well. But it's one of those things where I kind of personally like it, because again, number one, the fights aren't my biggest draw of the series, but I also like it because, I mean, when generally speaking, in real life, fights aren't long. Like they're really not. If you fight between someone, it doesn't last for a bunch of minutes. It lasts for usually a couple hits, and then someone's going the fuck down. Obviously, it's going to be a little more than that because people have auras and shit like that. But I don't know. Another example would be the Cinder Rhodes fight as well, which is fairly quick. But I don't know. I don't know. I just personally think it's fitting, and it doesn't particularly bother me. As long as they're like cool and well done and shit, which I definitely think they all have been, then that's plenty worth it for me. I'm not particularly too worried about it being super long. I really liked seeing everyone interact with each other and bounce off each other. It's cool to see Jean hold his fucking own against Ironwood at one point. Again, it's cool to see Oscar break out the fucking thing that fucking Oz likes to do all the goddamn time. Again, used it on Cinder back in Volume 3 and used it on Hazel as well during the battle at Haven. I don't know. It looks ridiculous and I kind of love it. Speaking of ridiculous things that look, I don't know what the fuck Winter did, but she beat his entire ass, and it was really cool. I don't know exactly what it was, if it was just purely for dramatic effect and like purely for the style of it all, which if so, I'm totally down for. But it was cool. That's all I know, is it was cool. Again, I like the fight. It was short, but I think it was very, very fitting for the situation that it was. Again, I really like Emerald. I like Emerald's, dynamic with the team. I like her fucking sassy ass attitude. I like that she immediately fucking took the gun and dipped so that he just immediately was disarmed. I really like that. And again, don't get me wrong, he was still fighting through it, but this boy's got to be pretty fucking tired by this point and significantly outnumbered. I don't know. I liked it for what it was. It was pretty cool. While it was confusing the first time around, immediately after a rewatch, it gets way easier for my dumbass brain to handle. Again, I'm a moron. That is worth keeping in mind as well. And jumping around back to like all the seeing the build up to where we got was really, really cool. Again, it was cool to see Marrow whip out his fucking stay immediately in a fight. He very rarely does that, but it's always it's cool to have him. I like Marrow. Marrow's cool. I'm really glad we have Marrow. I like Marrow and Winter's interactions. I don't know. I just like both of those characters a lot, so it was kind of fun to see them bounce off of each other in a positive way, instead of just kind of being depressing like it's been for a good while now. There's another thing about this episode is, all things considered, it is an immensely positive episode, even more so than the previous episode, which was like the most positive episode we've had in quite a while. In an episode that was still involving like, hey, RWBY, kill me, like shit like that, and the Summer Rose discussion. But this one didn't really have too much of anything. There was obviously I think the kind of the most upsetting or concerning or darkest moments in this episode are like you have the fucked up nightmare Penny, which is pleasant, and his little Ambrosius fucking warning at the end with like, hey, do not fall. Someone is falling. I don't know who, but someone is, and it's gonna be upsetting. Even if it's a bad person, it's gonna be a thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. Point is, I really like while I liked the positive moments that we did get. I'm sorry, my brain's all over the place. Again, this is the problem, is I don't like doing stuff like this, but I just got screwed on time. No one's watching anyway. It's okay. You've given up a long time ago. But I really, really like the little interactions between Winter and Marrow. I think they're a lot of fun. Both those characters are a delight, so it's cool to have them bounce off each other. It was nice seeing, Crow and Robin get to kick a little ass, because they've been fucking locked away for a goddamn minute now. I'm very curious to see how things play out with James and Jacques locked up where they are. I'm curious how much of the next episode is going to take place within the pocket dimension place, the weird vault world that we're in, the little Terminus Nexus area, and how much is going to take place out of it. We still obviously don't know exactly where Neo or Watts are. We know Cinder is right about to head into the portal land, but Neo is a huge fucking question mark. Watts is it's at least safe to assume that Watts is responsible for the CCT going down, I think. I have to imagine. Again, at least I have to imagine. I feel like it wouldn't have been somehow related to to whatever was keeping Atlas floating, because I feel like it would have gone down quicker than that if that were the case. Yeah, so I'm very curious to see where they are. Very scared about that. You know, like, that is the thing. Is like, again, this is a very positive episode, but it leaves so much fucking room for terrible to happen. We have 2 episodes left in a big fucking room with no floor and a ton of people. Some of them which are terrible monster people. So it's really concerning. I'm very curious and concerned to see what state James is going to be in. Because he's like you can see Winter walking him into the cell, and he's like semi-conscious, but only so much. And he kind of looked like he took a fucking nap as soon as he got back into that cell. It was just like, I've been on my feet for like 2.5 days. I've lost my goddamn mind. I'm curious to see how, if breaking his aura was able to help, at the very least, limit what metal was doing to him. Because it was clearly driving him to the brink of fucking insanity. It was driving him to, and there's no brink. And I'm curious to see how much of that is he's going to be able to pull out of. How much of it is he's just kind of fucking gone at this point. Not just his semblance, but just him as a person. I don't know. I'm curious who's going to interact with him or what. Atlas is currently falling. It's falling slowly, but it is falling. I'm curious who's going to go back and try and pick them up, if it's just going to be Winter or what. I don't know. It's just that is a huge question mark for me, because I don't know what is going on in his fucking metal head. I did like the scene with Winter and Jacques, though, obviously, because it's a Weiss's fantastic scene as well. I really liked getting to see more of Winter with her fucking head on her shoulders. And again, like, she's, as far as people who've been kind of acting in a negative way go, or at least on Team Ironwood go, she's been very, you know, we've still always kind of loved Winter, and she clearly meant very well. It's just she felt she had to do something. It was the wrong call, but still, and it's not like she didn't do good things even while, you know, pushing for that. I don't know. I don't know. I like Winter. I like Winter because she's just kind of like a little bit of an older Weiss, and just slightly not as good. Quite a bit not as good, but still very good. I really like Weiss. Speaking of, I really, really liked both of them. Actually, really the Schnees in general being very, like, much the planners. Like, they were putting shit together constantly, they grabbed all this fucking schematics. Fucking Whitley had a bunch of them, and, like, obviously you had Winter operating one side of the goddamn thing. You had Weiss kind of operating another side. I don't know. I thought it was really cool, and I really like it. Again, as a Schnee fan, as a Weiss fan, I'm all about it. Yeah. I'm surprised Ironwood didn't think for even a moment to maybe try and fix the goddamn hole at the bottom. Like, I realize he was very busy, but you could have just been like, hey, I'll just get some contractors, get someone down there to lock that shit up. We have a crazy flying lady around who wants to get in there. We should probably stop that. They didn't, though. Again, I get it. They were busy. I'm just saying. James, this would have been the time to start doing that while Salem's unconscious. Anyway. Do I have too much else to say, really, before we get to the vault? I don't know if we really do. I don't know, I'm glad everyone seemed to kind of make it okay there. We got at least the message out of, like, hey, Atlas is falling, and now there's the fucking portals there, so, like, hey, 2 and 2 together, Atlas is falling, magic portal. Maybe magic portal's the safe spot. You should probably go to the magic portal. Again, the problem is Cinder's there. I'm curious how much they know of the plan. Obviously, Watts was able to pick up what was going on in regards to, the kind of the Penny handoff situation. So I'm curious how much of that he managed to hear, and I'm curious if he was able to in any way, I don't know, anyway, learn anything about the actual, choices that the team was making in the background. I don't know. I'm very curious. Because if he can get into Ironwood's comms, what do you think is the possibility he can get into Winter's? I think it's not unlikely. Anyway, so let's talk about the other half of the episode. Yeah. So the vault, the Staff of Creation, Ambrosius, and sweet Penny. Yeah, so number one, it's cool to get into the vault finally. Scary, but cool. Atlas is officially falling because we've officially moved from one creation project to another. We got the new rules, obviously, which were, you have to be able to explain or somehow show exactly what you want made. You have to be able to somehow get that information to Ambrosius before he can actually do anything, because if not, he just can't make it. You have to be able to explain what you want, otherwise he has to fucking wing it. He's got to do it. He's got to make the thing happen, because you get exactly what you ask for. So if you don't know what the fuck you're asking for, then you're kind of in trouble. I know, I like that. I was mad that it took me that I wasn't able to be fair, I wouldn't have been able to guess who the VA was, because I've never heard of Valentine before. But he has a great fucking voice, and I really like Ambrosius as a character. He's a lot of fun. I would like to see him and Jin interact. I very much want to see what the other relic spirits look like and act like. I have to imagine, who the fuck knows about the fucking Crown of Choice? But maybe I'll find something if I actually ever read that goddamn book. You have to imagine the Sword of Destruction is either the meanest, angriest motherfucker you've ever seen, or a sweet, innocent being. I don't know, but I want to know. Speaking of Ambrosius himself, it was actually really cool. I was actually very proud of myself. I went and I kind of did some research on my own, trying to I want to figure out who is he in reference to, because obviously he's kind of in reference to the genie in the lamp as well. Kind of shares that sort of thing with Jin, I think, just by association. There's the blue fairy connection, which is fairly obvious because, this is a blue magic man, is a floating blue magic man who turns Penny into a real girl. But anyway, I want to try and see what else I could find out about. So I ended up looking up his name and stuff. And I was like, okay, so hey, there's Ambrosia. There's the fucking fruit salad, fruit of the gods shit. There's a couple different artists who have Ambrosius as a name. Two painters, and one was a fucking sculptor. Was he a sculptor? I don't know. There was 3 different artists I could find. And then I got to Arthurian legend and shit, and I was like, oh, there's the fucking the uncle of King Arthur or whatever, or the dude that he's kind of based on and inspired by and referenced to and shit like that. His name is Ambrosius. And then went on later to go, oh, shit, in some versions of the story or whatever, that character, it's either that character is conflated with and kind of you know what I mean? Like, kind of sort of associated with in the same way, or just straight up Merlin's last name is Ambrosius in some versions. He's fucking Merlin is what I'm saying. he's Merlin, which is really interesting and really kind of cool. I don't know, I think it's cool. You got the magical staff of creation, kind of fits with a wizardman, don't you think? I don't know, it's cool. I'm very happy that I figured that out before I had to find out that Eddie confirmed that he was fucking Merlin Daddy. He was codename Merlin Daddy in the writing process. I was like, oh. Well, I guess that spells it out for us now, doesn't it? But I'm glad I figured it out on my own first, and there was witnesses. Anyway, I spent a lot of time in the Sirs of Madness Discord talking to people and stuff about this episode. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone, just in ccase anyone's in there that's here. Hi guys, thanks for talking with me. It's fun. Anyway, I really enjoyed that character. I definitely hope we get to see more of him. I would very much like to see interactions with other characters, and especially with other spirits, if we could get the chance. Hair, don't look terrible on camera. Stop it, I hate it. So anyway, we get to the vault, we open the vault, and immediately, I don't know why it took me as long as it did. I think it was part of the, I was like, I had the feelings of it being weird pacing, but as soon as the vault opens, Ruby scoops everyone up, jolts, and grabs the fucking thing as quickly as possible. It didn't click for me until, like, the 6th rewatch that, oh, she did that because, number one, they're on a time crunch in general, but she has to do that because she has to freeze Penny immediately because Penny's going to start killing herself. As soon as that vault is open, Penny's going to start self-destructing. So that made a bunch of sense, and I don't know why I didn't catch on to that sooner, but yeah, that is why she moves so fucking fast. Anyway, other things to note that's kind of cool. Doesn't seem like you have to say Ambrosius' name to summon him and stuff like that, so that's kind of interesting. You pretty much just whip him out, just, I need to talk to you, without even having to say that. I am legitimately curious if that is exclusive to the staff, or I should say that summoning Jinn by saying her name is exclusive to Jinn and the lamp. But also I'm curious if that's not even really the case, and if you just need the intent and the knowledge to do so. Like, again, the question of, people... I talked about this in episode 10, I believe it was episode 10, in a little bit of discussion-y bits, but or it was like, I think we're kind of potentially underestimating the power of this omniscient genie, where I was like, I don't think it is necessarily impossible for Neo to summon Jinn. If it does work like this, where like, hey, yeah, she could just tell that by your intent, like, hey, I want to summon you, I know your name. I don't have to say that, but I can think that, and you would register it. I'm very curious if that is the case, because again, that definitely does seem how it works for Ambrosius and the Staff of Creation. So I'm very curious if it actually does work that way for the lamp as well. And that was just the most efficient way for us to do it. Was, well, you have to know her name, might as well say it out loud. That'll get her fucking attention. I don't know, I'm curious. I don't know if we'll see. I don't know how long Neo will have the lamp or not. Again, don't know what Neo is necessarily up to right now. But anyway, I thought it was cool the way I had that. Again, we got confirmation that there are spirits in the other relics. I have to imagine if there's one in these two, there has to be two in the others. Like, it was kind of a theory, like, well, if there's one in this, then maybe there's one in the others as well. But this is like, well, there's one in two of them. There's gotta be the other two as well. Yeah, so, I don't know. It's cool. They grab the fucking staff, fucking drag him out here. Again, I will try not to focus too much on my immense frustration with people not paying attention to the show. or being irritating. It's so very hard. It's so impossibly hard for me not to scream about people. Dude, again, it's been a week. It's been a difficult week. I'm already angry. I don't need reasons to be like, would you just shut up and watch the show? You fools? But I don't know. Just some people thinking it was too easy, all of this. Despite the fact that the team prepped like fucking crazy for this. Again, grabbed every piece of schematic and fucking technology they could to fucking... They planned this shit hard. They just didn't do it on screen. And they did half of it on screen. I don't know. It's just me having to deal with people. Point is, I liked how they did it. Number one, I liked that they did find a way to not only respect the fuck out of the Pinocchio the reference in the story with that. I know I really liked it. I've really loved how they've done Penny in general. Not only is she just a really fun character, and it's really funny too because for so many people, Penny was one of, if not their favorite character in the show in the first in volume 2 and 3. Again, you go back and watch her die mercilessly. I've seen it many a time. You go back and watch stuff like that, and you see it happen a lot. People talk about how she was their favorite, and of course, if Penny is their favorite, Pyrrha is their second favorite, because everyone loved Penny and Pyrrha. Which made it hurt so much more. I'm thinking it was on purpose. I gotta be honest with you. I think they made us fall in love with them for a reason. Screw your assholes. Anyway, I love them though. Yeah, no, I don't know what it was, but for a lot of people, she was their favorite. I always enjoyed Penny, but she was never one of my favorites. Like, I enjoyed her for what she was, and she was a kind of fun time around. And it still broke my goddamn soul in half watching her die back then. But in the end, she wasn't one of my favorite characters. Like, Pyrrha, on the other hand, absolutely was. Pyrrha was my favorite character of all time, fucking in the show, not of all time, but in the show, I think she was pretty fucking high up there. This was before Ichigo and Mitaru, so she was up there actually. She's fallen down a lot in time because she hasn't existed on screen in so long, and other characters have and have been amazing. So, but like, yeah, it wasn't until Pyrrha had passed until Weiss started becoming my favorite character, and then she became one of my favorite characters of all time. She might be second at this point. I think she is. She's almost definitely second at this point. I fucking love that character. But anyway, like, I don't know. I did not have a huge thing for Penny when, you know, in the first half of our time with her. But I really completely and utterly fell in love with her in Volume 7. And she's been so amazing in Volume 8. I don't know. I really, not only have I really enjoyed seeing her again, I adore her new look. I'm here to marry her if that's on the table. Point. I don't know. She's a very great design, kind of like grown up older Penny. I like it. It's very, very adorable. But yeah, I like that. I really liked her personality, which I think only got better with time. I think, and again, she was. It's very much the same Penny that we always kind of knew. But I don't know. I don't know. I like it more now. It's got even better with time. Maybe it was absence making the heart grow fonder, you know? And again, I really like how they've handled her plot-wise. Because she's had a lot of focus, obviously, being the Winter Maiden and shit. But I liked how they did that. I liked how they made her the Winter Maiden. I liked how, in the end, it wasn't... It didn't matter that it was originally Pietro Sol, because it isn't Pietro Sol anymore. It's not his aura anymore. It's Penny's. I think there's a lot of kind of commentary to be made there, and I find it really kind of beautiful and poetic. And I think that's one of the reasons why, even before I fully kind of nailed down exactly what had happened in this episode, I was still absolutely on board. You could have told me there was no reason that happened, and I'd be like, fuck it, cool, great, I'm in. Because I think it's incredibly poetic and beautiful and very fitting, both just for that character in general, but obviously with her inspirations and stuff like that. Again, as someone who puts a lot of stock and care and time into understanding the inspirations and basis of a lot of these characters and acknowledges their existence. Again, some people very much frustrate me. But as someone who really, really cares about that and acknowledges it and really, really appreciates it as a writer and an audience member, I don't know, I really, really liked it. So yeah, what actually happened? So I totally, much like with with Jean aura boosting Penny, it was one of those things that, in retrospect, makes perfect fucking sense, and I'm furious that I didn't get it before, because again, the whole thing has been like, it's been her human side, her aura that's been fighting against her body. It's like, your brain is completely yours, but your body's just doing whatever the fuck it wants. So your brain is fighting your body from doing something. And it's very much, it was that sort of thing, only this time it's more like the heart. Or whatever the fuck you can consider a soul. The heart, the mind, the brain, all that shit. Yeah. So it made a lot of sense, but it's something I never would have thought of in the moment. Until it actually happened, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. That, yeah, you boost the fuck out of her. You boost one of those sides, you tip the scales, that's going to manage to overcome, or at the very least slow it down a lot. And this was, again, one of those ones I didn't think about at all, but I think they fucking nailed it. I thought it was really, really kind of clever. Again, I think that's kind of the thing you have to be when you're dealing with literal god magic, is you have to be clever, or you're not going to be able to get anywhere. Again, it's kind of the funny thing about it's not the first time they've done that. Like RWBY summoning Jin to pause time to take out the Leviathan, despite the fact Jin was like, "Hey, you can't fucking do that. Don't fucking do that. That's not cool. It's cheating. You can just cheat the goddamn universe. What's wrong with you?" I really liked that she still in the end was like, it was kind of clever, though. I thought it was respectable. You sneaky. I know, I liked it, and I like how, again, in here, they find a loophole in the system. Again, you can only, the staff can only create one thing at a time. Once that thing is created, it fades away. The relic of creation cannot destroy anything. So I know, I had saved someone's write-up of it, because I think they ironed it out better than I will be able to here. But I will not pick it up and read it, because I'm stubborn. But yeah, no, like, the staff of creation, Ambrosius can't destroy. The only time anything would get destroyed is when it fades away from its being created by the staff, because it moves on to something else. But it also doesn't stop, like, something, like, again, it doesn't stop Atlas from falling out of the sky, because it just gets rid of the thing that was there. It's not going to stop the fucking gravity from doing what it does. But anyway, I think it's very clever. Not only you just yank everything out of Penny that isn't Penny, that isn't her soul, and put it over here. Now that is the thing he has created, so that will be what fades. Obviously, there's some confusion about, like, because that existed beforehand. To me, I think it makes fine enough sense. It doesn't fucking matter, really. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But just personally, I think it makes enough sense. But anyway, then you get left with Penny with just a soul. So he can't destroy that soul. So he has to build something for it. But because that is not what they asked for, that isn't the request. That isn't the thing he was supposed to create. He's doing that on his own volition. That's just what's being created. Therefore, when they open the portals, real Penny doesn't die. Just the body does. Just the robot body goes. I don't know. I thought it was a really clever loophole. And it makes a lot of sense. Again, someone did a better write-up. I'll fucking put it in the description or in the comments. Fucking A. Point is, I thought it was really clever. I'm a sucker for a loophole with, again, being clever with God magic. I don't know. It's cool. Rules are meant to be broken, or at the very least, bent slightly. What was it Osmond said back in the day? It was like, instead of you breaking the rules, instead of waiting for you guys to break the rules, why don't we just bend them? I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was well done. Again, I won't lie. It took me a minute to figure it out too. And again, there's nothing wrong with not figuring it out right away. The only thing that's wrong is when someone explains it to you, then you are an asshole about it. Or if you're just not willing to listen in the first place. So don't be those people. Because boy, did they exist this episode. What else do I have to say? Okay, yeah, so they go ahead and do that. We have real girl Penny. She's goddamn adorable. I mean, she's Penny, so she was always adorable. But, like, I don't know. I like it. It's cute. We gotta get her some goddamn shoes. Poor bare feet. I know fucking Zach's going ape shit about it, but that's not the point. But, like, we should still get her some goddamn shoes. Some socks at the very least. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. It was one of the things we've never like seen her like joints and shit. Like that's something you'll see in fan art of Penny is like she kind of has like robotic fucking, you know what I'm trying to say, like separations and joints and shit. Like something we've never seen in the show, but you just see artists kind of take as a creative liberty. But again, we never saw it in the show. But I don't know. I kind of find it interesting that since she no longer has the boots, since that was basically built into a part of her, she doesn't have rocket feet. So she loses the boots too. I don't know necessarily why she loses the gloves, other than I think just for the visual imagery of her noticing like her fingernails and shit. Did she have fingernails on her original? I think she probably did, but I don't know. I think she's more just noticing that, oh, hey, this is meat people stuff. I don't know. It works better for a visual. But, like, yeah, you get to see she's got whole ass, like, human legs and knees and shit. Crazy. Normal knees. Came back in the end. I don't know. I really like it. I really, really adore Penny. I like the little, like, touches. Like, she doesn't have the little power button anymore. Her like power button symbol is gone. Obviously she doesn't have the backpack, the weapons and shit. I mean she's been severely disarmed compared to what she used to be. She still should have the maiden powers as far as we know. So she's not a fucking slouch by any means, but she doesn't have her rocket shoes and don't got magical strings of death. No doubt she could figure something out, though. Again, assuming that the power did all... Nothing went fucky when they did that, but who knows? Again, they were kind of winging it. They didn't have many options like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Hopefully this works. And it did. But yeah, there's that. I like that her bow, which obviously was normal when we first met Penny back in the day, because it's the little bow that fucking Pietro wears now. But it was metal on her Penny 2.0, if you will. But then obviously when she comes back now, it's I don't know, it's just regular, and it's really cute and floofy, and I like it. Let's say I like Penny. Yeah, as of right now, and it does need to be some slight adjustments because Neo should probably be on there. But yeah, Penny is the only other RWBY character that is on my top 100 list off the top of my head. It's the four girls and Penny. I think Penny's like third. I think she's third on the list. I don't know. Point is, there's going to have to be adjustments being made by the end of the volume. Yeah, so we went ahead and did all of that. Then obviously they had to test like, did that fucking actually work? Are we going to immediately lose Penny? You know, they were worried about that too, as well as they need to start on the evacuation. So I like their plan. You know, I'm curious if they created a little pocket dimension area, or if they yanked one out from somewhere, or should I say they put all the stuff up in somewhere. Because again, we still don't know exactly where the vaults are or how they work. But like Yang says, like, it's clearly not fucking a part of Remnant. This is some sort of magic bullshit. Some other world or some other dimension, something like that. But I'm curious, I don't know if he created one for this express purpose, or if he just kind of put this little terminus area inside of one somewhere. I think it's probably the latter. But anyway, obviously, creates just a system of tubes, but like a bunch of pathways connecting to a bunch of different locations in Atlas and Mantle, specifically like places in like the subway systems where all the refugees are from Atlas, and in the crater where all the refugees are from Mantle. Then obviously they all lead directly to Vacuo. So I'm very curious to see if we actually get to see Vacuo, or when we get to see well, I mean, we will eventually, but when we get to see Vacuo, if it's going to be this volume, if it is going to be post-credits, if it's going to be throughout the next episode, if it's going to be just in the last episode, if we're not going to get any of that, if we fall into a fucking netherworld, get lost for a volume, have a Stark flashback season, and then come back in 10. Who the fuck knows? But I'm very curious, and I'm sure they're having a fucking time over there. I am so goddamn excited to see Theodore and Rumpel, and fucking to see Team Sun and the fucking Beacon Brigade and shit. Team Coffee. You see how good it's gonna be able to see Velvet in the fucking goddamn Maya engine. Insanity. Yeah, I can't wait to see the fucking gang. I'm curious if we get any kind of like discussion as to like, you should see the shit we've been through. Let me tell you about something called the Crown. It's kind of a war. It was fucking bananas. So has shit been for y'all? See y'all fighting ancient terrible evils and shit. So like the gods, those exist, huh? Just kind of threw that on the rest of the world and just kind of dipped. I don't know. I do want to see Sun meet Ambrosius, though, just because, like, they'd get along. I did also say this, too, is, like, if Neptune ever did see Jin, his head would just explode, right? Like, he's just done. Like, he would just pop like a fucking firecracker. Just like, oh, giant blue floating naked lady woman. I'm dead now. Sounds about right for Neptune. But yeah, no, I'm very curious to see when we get to see that and how that will go. I'm curious to see Tyrion and Mercury's view of things when that happens. I don't know, I'm just very curious to see. I have no doubt that at least a number of the refugees, again, it's a real fucking question mark, because they are in such an incredibly fucking dangerous enclosed location with a very dangerous person. At least one very dangerous person. So it's going to be very concerning what the fuck happens in that little fucking dimension area. But anyway, they go ahead and get that all set up. Again, with the help of, Whitley and the schematics and the Schnees being amazing and shit. And that's kind of where we send off with Ambrosius with, again, his last line of just do not fall. Which, number one, to be fair, while they did not ask for them, could have put in some railings. A little bit of a dick move there, bro. Ambro has a little bit of a dick move. But again, to be fair, we didn't ask for railings at the time. Shoutouts to Joanna. Like, don't get me wrong, I have noted that they did relay the information to them, because they were in contact with them. that they did relay, like, hey, we're going to try some shit. Some crazy shit might happen, so be ready, and to be ready to fucking work with that immediately. But shout outs to Joanna just sticking her fucking hands in giant glowing portals and shit. Like, this is fucking crazy. Cool. Let's get people the fuck out of here. I don't know. I just like the Happy Huntresses being fucking on the ball. Joanna is just fucking... She just gets shit done. she really do. As much as I adore Fiona and May, Joanna just gets shit done. Yeah. Do not fall. Again, we have such a positive episode overall with this. But there is so much room for awful to happen in the last 2 episodes. Like, again... Flat out, there is no way that someone does not fall after he said that. That is just, okay, that's going to happen. Now take the time to sit and think about who it's going to be. How many people it's going to be. Are they going to be people we know? Are they going to be random people? Is it going to be the villain? Is it going to be us? Is it going to be every fucking one? I don't know. There's a lot of room for danger. There's a lot of fucking people we need to account for. There's all of the refugees from Atlas. There's all the refugees from Mantle. There's the fucking Happy Huntresses, who are obviously with that group. There is Winter and the rest of the Aesops. There is fucking Crow and Robin. There is Ironwood and Jacques. There is fucking, again, Watts and Neo, who are somewhere doing something, getting ready for some shit. All we know is that Neo's specific plan is, again, I want you to give me Ruby, and then or help me kill Ruby, or do something. I'm so... Like, Ruby's not gonna die. I will say this again. I've been a firm proponent of, if anyone from the main 4 is going to die, it will be Ruby at the end of the show. But, like, she's not going to die here and now. That being said, I've always been someone who's big on the, like, so she's probably going to lose an eye at some point. And eventually I did move on to, like, she could lose both. Not that I want either of those things to happen. It's just that seems very appropriate. Especially since she's the main... She's the biggest weapon against Cinder. So if Cinder's smart, like kind of she's implying she's trying to be now, and like with the Watts connection, taking out Ruby's eyes would immediately give her an insane advantage. Whether that be her that does it, whether it be Neo that does it, please Neo, don't break my goddamn heart like that. I want to love you dearly. Or whatever the case may be, I still am very much worried that is a thing that could happen. And what the hell happens if someone does fall? Like, do you get trapped there for eternity? Do you fall into some other world? Do you fall... Do you die? What happens? I don't know. It's very concerning. And if you do, is there any way you get out of there? Like, again, I know one example has been, like, one of the only people who could have a chance at potentially, assuming that the thing doesn't collapse in upon itself when the fucking staff changes or something like that, and someone gets left behind there, like, the one person you could think of that's maybe okay, as long as you were trapped there forever, would be Yang, because Raven could grab her or something like that. But that's like it. Like, that is your one... That is the only person I can think of. Unless there's a way out from there, like falling into another world or something like that. Like, that's it. That's the thing is, there's so much room for theory and concern based on this episode. For an episode that is so inherently positive overall. And it feels weird it being as positive as it is. There's so much room for awful to happen. Like, the amount of people that are in danger just being in that room with Cinder is absurd. She could do so much fucking damage to so many people so fucking easily. And again, there's so many unknowns. We don't know how the dimension works. We don't know. We just don't know. The only thing we do know, which is kind of scary, is that they've already confirmed a while back ago that Volume 9 is a little bit of a detour, or is a little bit different. Which scares me, because I feel like it's not going to be just a detour or a little bit different if we're just in vacuo now. I feel like that's not how that works. You know? I'm scared, though. Something bad's gonna happen. Probably a couple bad things. I don't know if you've noticed watching this show, but historically, second to last episodes in RWBY volumes tend to be pretty fucking crazy. And pretty fucking concerning. There's always almost horrible death, maiming, insane, over-the-top battles of concern and fear. Crazy shit. I don't know, though. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Obviously, I've thrown out many ideas that could happen. I guess we just don't really know. Again, if one of the members of if RWBY falls, or if the team falls or something like that, and they could get separated, they could end up in another world, they could get lost in this fucking dimension, and then other people have to deal with shit in the meantime. Or again, we could do something like the Stark flashback, or fucking, again, it'd be insane to do, but I would be 1,000,000,000 times % into it. None of that made sense what I just said. I've been really all over the place this video, but it's been a fucking week, guys. The updates, I don't know how I'm feeling. Kind of don't feel great, but I don't think I feel bad in that way that I would feel bad were that the problem, you know? I don't know. The fucking episode, by the time this episode comes out, I'll probably either be dying or not. Find out, I guess. Still don't know about that fucking test thing, because no one tells me shit, and I won't know. They won't even fucking tell me when we get the goddamn results. They'll just be like, "Oh, hey, what are you wearing a mask for around the house? We found out it's okay." With my luck, that is exactly what will happen. I'll just get a bunch of... I realize I'm wearing a mask in my own house when I've already been potentially exposed. I'm not fucking around with it. Okay. Angry. Anyway. Scared. Again, no one falling is good. Again, I talked about how fucking safe I thought Ren and Nora are, and I still do think they're pretty okay, but Juniper could easily get screwed over. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen when Emerald sees Cinder again. People have had some concerning, might I say, bullshit. How dare you? Don't put that evil on me. Fucking suggestions about Weiss. Dave, get out of my fucking Discord sitting here talking about crazy shit. What's wrong with you? It's dangerous. It's dangerous, sir. It's dangerous. You talk about crazy like, well, what if Weiss dies? Don't you fucking say that to me. Don't tell me that. Put that thought in my head. I go through this shit once already. Don't do that. Bad man. You got people on fucking Twitter being all like, "Hey, man, hey, but what about? But what about? You have a incredibly depressing, concerning, terrifying Bumblebee moment where one of them's like dangling over the edge or something, and one of them falls or something. Like, maybe don't do that either. Huh? Don't put that evil in my head. I'm scared enough, guys. I'm so scared. I'm legitimately terrified. I I don't know. Is a good fucking episode, though. Legitimately, I adore this episode. I know there's going to be a number of people who bitched about it. I've seen people bitch about it. And again, it boils down to Ironwood, but it beat him up, it beat him up. Shut up. Anyway. It's mean. But again, I've had a bad week. Let me have this. But yeah, it either boils down to that or I don't get it. Which, I am sorry, but you not getting it isn't a the show problem when a bunch of other people do get it. Maybe it's a you problem. Maybe you don't need to make a bunch of fucking videos on it, milking the shit out of it just because you can't figure it out. Guy. Person. Dude. I don't know. It's just, I get not getting it right away, because I didn't completely. But you can figure it out. And then when you figure it out, you can shut the fuck up. Anyway, so it's not to shit talk anyone who just didn't enjoy the episode or something like that. There's nothing wrong inherently with that or anything. But you know, the only time I have problems with it is when people ignore the shit that's happening on screen, whether that be the direct reasoning being given to you or just like literally shit that comes directly out of characters' mouths and stuff. Like you could shoot someone in the face and they'd be like, well, that didn't just happen. That character's clearly alive. It's a bad show. Like, no, that's not how it works. Dude. Like, it's when people do stuff like that I do have a problem with. And there's a little bit of that sort of shenanigans with this episode. It's only been like a day or two, though, so we'll have to wait and see. But those really do tend to be the two big complaints. Ironwood wasn't the good guy, guys. He just wasn't. Just like Adam was not the good guy, guys. Understand some of the hills people choose to die on with this series, man. It's so weird. It's so weird to me. There's nothing wrong with liking those characters. I adore both of those characters. I hate them as people, but I adore both of those characters. There's nothing wrong with that. Just with being an idiot. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Again, I know this was a bit different than usual. Not the way I had particularly planned it or wanted it to go. But again, time was fucky. It's been a week. I'm sorry. Again, I will keep you guys updated as to my health. Again, as of right now, I don't feel great, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think, yeah. I really don't. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like other shit's wrong. But I think for now I'm okay. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you to everyone who watched and who's been watching this series with me. Again, like I talked about before, it means the absolute world to me. It is my favorite show, so getting to spend time with you guys and enjoy it and have a great time, it's been fucking magical. Do I have anything else to say? I don't think really. Just again, thank you. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really like this episode, though. I do know that. Probably gonna watch it again. Let's make it 9. Bye, guys. I will see you all next episode. I fucking better. I goddamn better be, okay? Again, even if I don't, like, die, which I better not. I don't want to do that. But even if I get taken out for 2 weeks, when I have the last 2 weeks of RWBY to watch, gonna be fucking furious. Gonna want to strangle someone. Gonna want to throw someone off of a giant floating city. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I will see you guys all next time. Tools, lemons, everyone. Hubba motherfucking bye. Also, because I want to say, because I didn't get to say it before, thank you to everyone who watched the James Ironwood fucking hates tables video. That was a lot of fun. This is my favorite thing I've done. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done, and it's incredibly stupid. I'm really, really annoyed that there's a weird audio fuck up right in the very beginning of the video that was not there when I edited it. Just wasn't. It didn't exist. So it wasn't there. It wasn't in the preview on YouTube, but it's on YouTube and it sucks. So that's great. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that video, and I hope anyone else did too. It was really stupid, but it was a good time. I just noticed it's just James. He hits tables constantly. I don't understand why he hates them so much. And then I remembered, oh, this all started with a table. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Take care, stay safe, stay wonderful, stay beautiful. Regardless of whatever fucking moron runs your state, take care of yourself. Wear masks. Distance. They're fucking morons. Take care of yourselves. Yeah. Bye. I need to go. I need to get some water. I'm dry as fuck. Then maybe make like some mac and cheese. That sounds nice. I might do that. How many times can I fucking send this video off? I don't know. I love Weiss. That's the only thing I know. Penny's pretty great too. I don't know if this is still recording, but Penny's pretty great too. Bye.